I'm Alexis, aka The Sloth Reader, and I'm here today to do my 500 subscriber Q&A. So about 2 weeks ago, I put up a video where I asked you guys to send me questions, and I also asked for questions on Twitter and Goodreads. So I'm just gonna answer those questions today. So I'll go ahead and start with the question I got on Twitter first. And on Twitter, Derek asked, what was the book/series that got you into reading? And actually a couple of months back, I filmed an entire video where I talked about books that were sentimental or special to me. And I did actually talk about this in there. I will link that video down below in case you guys are interested in checking it out. But the book/series that got me into reading was actually the Land of Elion series by Patrick Carman, the first book being The Dark Hills Divide. This follows a young girl named Alexa Daly who discovers some secrets about her family that put her on a giant quest to save her land from an evil. I don't think the author came to speak to us about the book, but I remember we specifically had an event at our school library where they promoted this book to us. And I remember we watched a book trailer on VHS, on a TV. And so it made me interested to check it out, and I did, and I continued to read the entire series until the last book was out. But yeah, this was my introduction to reading for me. Alright, and so the rest of the questions all came from YouTube. The next one is from Jack Gets Lost Down a Book Hole, and they asked, if you could be any magical creature, what would it be and why? Okay, so whenever people ask me if I could own a magical creature, my answer is always dragon. 10 out of 10 times dragon. I don't know that I'd want to be a dragon though. You'd be so big, and there's only so many places you could fit if you were a dragon. I mean, I guess that applies if I had a dragon too. The dragons are super cool. So but would I want to be a dragon when I could also have the same option to be humanoid-ish creatures too? Yeah, you know what, honestly, I think I would want to be a dragon, or a giant bird, anything that can fly. One of my favorite superpowers, as lame as it sounds, is to be able to fly. So dragons can fly and also breathe fire, and also they're dope as hell. I'm gonna pick a dragon. Also too, if I could own a magical creature, the answer is always dragon. My very, very good friend Melanie asked, what is my ideal perfect first date? Because she's Melanie. I'm gonna be cheesy and say an amusement park. And I have actually a couple of really good, I think, valid reasons why I think an amusement park makes a good first date. Because obviously you're having fun, and I feel when you're in an amusement park environment, it makes you drop a lot of the usual nerves and barriers you have when you just go to a dinner with somebody. Because you're getting on rides and you're screaming. The only options you have for food are corn dogs and funnel cake. But I think you can learn a lot about a person at an amusement park, because at an amusement park, you can see how patient they are, how well they deal with crowds, how they treat service people. So you're having a good time, but you're also getting to learn, I think, some pretty important things about the person you're on the date with. So I'm gonna go with an amusement park as the ideal first date. Shelby over at Read and Find Out asked me 2 questions. She said, what books would you choose to represent you as a person? Oh my gosh, I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't feel like I have found personally that one book that really represents who I am. Because even all the time I talk about how Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell really represented who I was when I was a freshman in college. But that's not necessarily who I am anymore. And so at this stage in my life, I don't feel like I've found that perfect book to represent me. I don't know, I can't. I tried to think of an answer for this one, and I couldn't. She also wanted to know what I studied in college. My major was in international studies, so I studied international relations and anthropology. International studies is all of those things together. It's learning to deal with globalization and the international community, and knowing how to be an ambassador for the US to other countries and stuff like that. It's all of those things mixed together. It's what it sounds like. It's international studies. And I have a double minor in Spanish, which is pretty self-explanatory, and public health. Katie over at Katie's Booktube asked me a couple of questions. She said, what are your favorite animes? Because she knows I like anime. Okay, so you're actually gonna hear me talk about this one in another video coming up, but my all-time favorite anime is an anime called Code Geass. It is like a sci-fi political mech anime, but it's so much more than that. It's about like an alternate our world where basically the United States has become an empire and they've taken over Japan and made it into a colony, and it's about the Japanese people like wanting to rebel but being too oppressed to do so. And so an exiled prince of the empire like disguises himself and becomes a rebel leader for the Japanese people. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it. Again, favorite anime. If you like science fiction, alternate history, well, it takes place in 2017, but like, yeah, mech, political, heavy emphasis on morally great characters, I highly recommend that. And Katie also asked me if I read manga, and if I do, what's my favorite. So my all-time favorite manga actually does have an anime adaptation if you don't enjoy reading manga. However, I would highly recommend the manga, and that is a manga called D. Gray Man by Katsura Hoshino. So this is set in a fictional 19th century England as you're following a 15-year-old boy named Alan Walker, who is part of the Black Order of Exorcists, and it's his job to basically roam the world searching for a magical power called innocence and also destroy demons called Akuma along the way. And Alan is special because he actually has the ability to see the souls that are trapped inside Akuma, and he wants to save those souls. So you're following Alan as he's trying to defeat these demons and keep them from killing other people, while also playing a bigger role in like staving off the apocalypse. Like, let me express, like, there are like 20 something volumes, there's like over 200 chapters. It's not a short manga, it is a commitment, but it's so incredibly worth it for how attached and how lovable the characters are. I love D. Gray Man so much. Like 10 out of 10, if you ever ask me for manga recommendations, this will always be the first thing I recommend to people because it's just so good. Ophelia asked, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? I have so many places I honestly would really love to go. I would love to go to Peru and see like the ruins of Machu Picchu. I would love to go to Argentina. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to go to Japan, and I still to this day would absolutely love to go to Japan. I studied Chinese for 2.5 years, so I would love to go to China. There's so many places in Europe I would love to go. You know, I would love to go to England, Scotland. I would love to go to Italy, Greece, Germany, Denmark. I would really like to go to like South Africa. I'd like to go to Canada too. I've been to Australia and I would love to go back to Australia because there's so many parts of Australia I didn't get to see when I was there. I would love to go to New Zealand. I would love to go to Antarctica, which I sounds crazy, but I would. Like if somebody was like, hey, do you want to go to Antarctica? I'd be like, oh, sure. I don't know, space. That's technically not on the planet, but I would love to go to space. This world has so much to offer in terms of beauty, in terms of culture, in terms of the people, and I really would like to experience any and all of it. Japan is probably the place I've wanted to go since I was a little kid, so like I would really like to go to Japan. Leah asked, how many Funko Pops do you have, and can you show us your faves? I counted this, didn't count before filming this, but I counted a couple of weeks ago, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I had 45 then. And I don't think I've added any since I like counted that up. I'm actually waiting probably till sometime in March to do another Funko Pop tour, because there's a couple of March releases I really want to get before I like do that. Hands down, probably my favorite Funko I own is my Diva Funko. Diva is one of my favorite characters from Overwatch, which is a game, and I love mechs, and I just think that her Funko is just so cool, and like that it's got like the logos that she all has, and then like you can open her mech and like tiny Diva comes out. Like I really do think that all of the Overwatch Funkos, which I keep all right here, I genuinely think they're all really nice Funkos. They're all very detailed. Another one of my favorite Funkos is my Big Daddy from, which sounds really weird to say, is my Big Daddy Funko from BioShock. If you guys didn't know, BioShock is one of my favorite video game franchises, and so this is the Big Daddy character. which there's not just one of them, there's multiple ones. But I just love this because it's so Bioshock. I recently got Peabody and Atlas from Portal 2, which are the little aperture robots, and I am in love with them. I think they're so cute, and like the little characters in the video game themselves are really adorable. But like, look at them, they're so precious. So I do really, really like these. Yeah, I mean, I really like all of the Funko Pops I've owned. I've said this before, but I don't buy a Funko Pop if I don't like the way it looks. So I genuinely really like all of the ones I own, but those are a couple of my favorites. Alright, and then Terrell asked, what really inspired you to start a booktube channel? I definitely think I answered this one in my last Q&A, but honestly, it was just the fact that I thought I could. I was watching a couple of people on booktube, and I had recently purchased the same camera that I use now that I was using then, and I was like, I could do this. Like, I could set up my camera. Back then I had just like a really, really short tripod, so I was like, I could sit on my floor, put my camera on a tripod. I didn't have lights back then, but I mean, it was just the idea that like, I don't have any hang-ups about standing in my apartment and talking to myself on camera. I love books. I've always enjoyed talking about books, and so I was just like, I could do it. Like, I could do that. And so I just decided to do it. Alrighty guys, so that was my 500 subscriber Q&A. Again, thank you to everyone who sent in questions. A lot of these ones I feel like were super rambly, but that's me anytime. I like get asked questions. Thank you to everybody who sent in questions. As usual, whenever you guys ask questions in the comments, I always try to respond. So, you know, continue to ask questions. If you like what I do, I upload videos on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!